Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. It is Monday and you know what that means. It's time for a new 2018 NFL mock draft, my second 2018 NFL mock draft. So I took y'all's constructive criticism, or at least it was supposed to be constructive for some of you, from last week, and I made improvements, so you will see the mock draft on your screen right now. Real quick though, I finally decided, let me make my personal social media accounts public because I want to add you guys, get a little closer to you guys. So I'll put my Snapchat and my Instagram links down in the description box below. It will also be displayed on the screen right now. So if you want to add me on Instagram or Snapchat, go ahead and do that. I want to get a little closer to you guys, but I will not follow you back on Instagram because honestly, I don't want to see your stuff. If I follow everyone back on Instagram, I'm going to see a bunch of junk. I'm going to miss people from my high school getting pregnant, getting arrested, and I need to see that information. So with that said, we move on to my 2018 NFL mock draft 2.0, right? This is my second mock draft, but again, I'm not keeping up with 1.0, 2.0, because by the end of it, every week I'm doing this, I'm gonna have 20, and we're not gonna keep up with those numbers. So I changed the #1 overall pick. Look, when I was going through my last mock draft, right, and I had Lamar Jackson #1 overall, I had trusted some people close to me that were telling me, and I honestly saw it too from the little college film I had watched, that Lamar Jackson was the best quarterback in the draft. But then I sat down and I watched Lamar Jackson this weekend, and honestly, I'm just not buying it anymore. I think he's talented. I think he could be really, really good. But I do doubt now that he does go #1 overall, unless if the Browns really fall in love with his running ability. But as a pure passer, he's good, but not great and not good enough to go #1 overall to me. And that may be a surprise to some of you, and it's going to be controversial, just as Deshaun Watson was, just as Cam Newton was, but I think he's better than Deshaun Watson, actually, to me. I'm not sure he's as talented as a passer as Cam Newton, so I think he won't go #1 overall, but we'll see, because again, this will be a conversation throughout this draft process. I will not have Josh Rosen going #1, though, because I don't believe he's going to go there. I think he's going to do everything in his power to avoid Cleveland. You're already hearing reports that he does not want to go to Cleveland, and you're also hearing reports that Josh Rosen is a guy that really cares about making money in the NFL. Now, for some of you, that's going to be no problem. To me, it's a bit of a problem, but regardless, he wants an extensive NFL career, and he knows if I really want that, I need to force my way to New York. This guy's going to force his way to New York to me. I can see it happening already. Everyone can see this. Get ready for this. So the Browns, right now, to me, have to look at Darnold, Mayfield, or Josh Allen, or maybe Mason Rudolph. Now again, I've only watched Lamar Jackson and a little bit of Baker Mayfield. I'm doing my quarterback evaluations now. I will tell you this, Mayfield's not bad, okay? I thought I wasn't going to like him. I thought I was going to see things that I did not like on tape, but he's pretty good. In fact, I haven't settled on a grade yet, but I may put him higher than Lamar Jackson. Stay tuned for my scouting reports that will start coming out soon. I have them going Darnold, and I understand Darnold had a down year, but all these people, all these NFL.com analysts, they're still speaking highly of Sam Darnold, and if they're speaking highly of Sam Darnold, so are probably NFL scouts, NFL team scouts, and the Browns will probably fall in love with him. Josh Rosen goes #2. Again, to me, the Giants have to move on from Eli Manning. You have a new general manager, you're going to have a new head coach as well. Why not start over the quarterback position too? I do believe Eli Manning can still play, but what's the point of having this new GM, this new head coach, and you have to change some things offensively in terms of your running situation, your wide receivers need some changing, your offensive line definitely. You might as well just start over with the quarterback as well to me. Saquon Barkley, I now have him going #3, and I'm going to keep changing. I'm going to keep going back and forth. Saquon Barkley going 3 and 4, and Bradley Chubb, you know, just switching them back and forth, because right now, who knows? When some rumors come out, we'll see what happens. To me, running backs are a bit more valuable than defensive ends, so I would probably lean Saquon Barkley, assuming Barkley is as good, if not a better prospect than Bradley Chubb. That's where I would go. But again, I haven't done my evaluations yet. I'll let you know what I think about that in the future, but for right now, for this mock, I'll have Barkley going 3. Bradley Chubb going 4. Yes, the Browns drafted Myles Garrett last year, but opposite of him is Emmanuel Ogbah, who's not great, Carl Nassib, who's okay, but to me, man, you just can't pass up on this opportunity. Minkah Fitzpatrick is also possible here, but some people think Bradley Chubb is the best player in the draft. So you could pair Myles Garrett with Bradley Chubb, your defense, and now you have to have a quarterback. Now we're talking about the Browns possibly having a top 5 defense. People, the Browns defense last year was actually about league average, even above league average. Like, I think it was around maybe number 12 overall defense. If they had Bradley Chubb and a couple more pieces, they're gonna have a ton of free agency money. Look out for this Browns defense next year. Of the Broncos taking Baker Mayfield, and let me tell you this thing, okay, about right now how I'm mocking the quarterbacks. Like, right now I have no clue, and you're not gonna have a clue. No one's gonna have a clue until March, because there are so many free agent quarterbacks out there. We're talking about Alex Smith, who's gonna be released, Kirk Cousins, who to me is gonna move, Garoppolo's gonna stay in San Francisco, but maybe he's on the open market, we'll see. Blake Bortles could be released, Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum, Sam Bradford. There's going to be so much quarterback movement. Eli Manning, who we talked about earlier, to the point where we don't know if these teams are going to need quarterbacks. So I'm going to keep mocking all these quarterbacks in the top 6 for now. But again, just wait until March, because March is going to change things. The Broncos, the Jets, the Giants, the Browns, they could all pursue big-time free agent quarterbacks, and we'll be having a different discussion. But for this mock, I'm going to take Baker Mayfield. Now, whether or not Elway would fall in love with Mayfield, I don't know. I doubt it. But for this mock, I just did it. Who cares? Jets taking Lamar Jackson. Again, I'm not that hard on Lamar Jackson anymore, but I do believe he's a first rounder. But you have to be all in on his running ability. You're going to have to use him like the Panthers use Cam Newton to me. He's going to have to run a lot, passing 600-700 rushing yards per year. If you do that there, he could actually be really, really good. But he's going to need to do that, and he's going to need to stay healthy. Would I take that risk? I'm not sure. We move on to number 7. Bucks take Minkah Fitzpatrick. They could use a free safety to me. Fitzpatrick can also play cornerback, so he could fit there as well. No problems there. I consider pass rusher for them. In fact, I think last mock I had them getting Arden Key. I'll probably go back to that next mock. But for this mock, Minkah Fitzpatrick. All right, we move on to number 8. Calvin Ridley goes to the Bears. Again, the Bears take a wide receiver. They need a wide receiver. Number 9, 49ers take Quenton Nelson, guard out of Notre Dame. You know, this is a tough pick for me, because to me, the 49ers need defensive help. They'd love for Minkah Fitzpatrick to fall to them, and maybe I'll have that next mock. You guys were really against me having Arden Key going there and the 49ers selecting a defensive end for the 4th straight year. Look, I was hearing last year, right? I was mocking Solomon Thomas to the 49ers longer than anyone. And I kept hearing everyone say they're not going to do it. When they drafted Armstead 2 years ago, and they have DeForest Buckner, you know, the year before that, and then people were telling me no way they're going to draft Solomon Thomas. And then they drafted Solomon Thomas. If you look at the 49ers, yes, they have Armstead. He's not that good. They have Solomon Thomas, who, again, I think is going to be good in the future, but did make much of an impact, and that 49er team only had 30 sacks. That's one of the lowest totals in the NFL. Don't tell me they don't need a defensive end, because, dog, they need a defensive end. Still, I know they've drafted defensive linemen for the past 3 years. They still need one. I mean, they're not gaining sack production until they get sack production, until the Browns get a quarterback. They're going to draft a quarterback. Until the 49ers get sack production, they're going to draft defensive linemen. So even if they don't go defensive lineman round 1, it's going to be by round 3. And I'll tell you that right now. We move on to the Raiders. They take Roquan Smith. I had this in my last mock, have it in this mock. But Roquan Smith, his draft stock keeps going up. I saw Matt Miller of Bleacher Report rank him number 4 on his big board. So I need to consider this moving forward, because this may be too low for Roquan Smith. Number 11, Dolphins pick up a safety, Derwin James. You know, they love for Quenton Nelson to fall, but if he doesn't, they have to go safety to me. They'd love to go linebacker, but Roquan Smith will probably be gone. Rashawn Evans is a possibility as well. Number 12, Bengals take offensive tackle Orlando Brown. Could be Connor Williams, could be Mike McGlinchey, whichever offensive lineman they fall in love with. Could be a quarterback. As the other day, Marvin Lewis said that he was looking to start things over in Cincinnati. Is that going to include getting rid of Andy Dalton? So look out for that. What the hell are they talking about in Cincinnati? But to me right now, it has to be offensive tackle being mocked to them. They need to improve their offense. It was awful this year, and I would keep Dalton. You know, I've been defending Dalton for a while, but who knows what they're going to do. Number 13, Arden Key. Oh my God, he falls all the way down to 13. But look, I just saw CBS Sports. They have their big board. He's like number 36 on their big board. I have to watch Arden Key for myself. I know this year he dealt with injuries and that hurt his draft stock, but Man, this guy was supposed to be going number 1 or number 2 this year, and now down to number 13 in my mock. Number 14, Redskins take Josh Allen. Man, I think they're moving on from Kirk Cousins. I don't get it. It's ridiculous to me. That's not the reason why they missed the playoffs this year, but that's what they want to do. And they'd probably start over with Josh Allen or Mason Rudolph if this is the way the draft shook out. Number 15, Cardinals take Connor Williams, the offensive tackle out of Texas. And, you know, to me, obviously the quarterback is a need here, but I did not want to mock 6-7 quarterbacks in the first round. I didn't want to do it. Again, people, when we enter March and we have all these free agent quarterbacks moving, Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Bradford, Case Keenum, all these free agent quarterbacks move around, Eli Manning, Blake Bortles, whatnot, things are going to look clear. But for right now, some mocks I'm going to have the Cardinals taking quarterback, some mocks I won't. You're just going to have to get used to that for now until March comes. So just be patient with me. Number 16, wide receiver Quenton Sutton. You know, to me, the Ravens need a wide receiver, and that's almost all that they need. I mean, they could use better production from Joe Flacco, but you're not going to be able to draft that unless if you really want to go out on a limb and draft a quarterback, right? That's all you can really do. Alex Collins stepped up for them, so they don't need a running back at this point. Offensive line is pretty good. If you wanted to get guard, now it'll be too early for that now that Quentin Nelson is off the board. Defense, you drafted 2 edge rushers last year in Tyus Bowser and Tim Williams. I don't think you're going to draft another one now. So to me, this was the move. This is going to continue to be the move. Me mocking the Ravens a wide receiver. I see no other option right now. Tell me what you think, Ravens fans, in the comments below. Number 17, Vita Vea goes to the Chargers. They need to fix their run defense. That cost them a playoff spot. If they would have beat the Kansas City Chiefs and been able to slow Kareem Hunt in that critical December game, they'd be in the playoffs right now. Weren't able to do it. Vita Vea would change that next year. Move on to Mike McGlinchey going to the Seattle Seahawks at number 18. And to me, you know, this pick makes sense. I wanted to go running back again, but I wanted to switch it up. So this week I switched it up. Don't be surprised if next week I go back to running back because the Seahawks, we all know, need to improve their offensive line, but they also need to establish a run game because Russell Wilson cannot continue to lead their team in rushing. This is ridiculous. Number 19, Cowboys take another wide receiver, and I saw some Cowboy fans complaining that I had them taking a wide receiver. Look, people, I don't know what you want from me. You drafted so many cornerbacks last year. That doesn't make sense to mock you there. Safety, no. Okay, there's no real safety of value here. Linebacker, no. I mean, you have Sean Lee, Anthony Hitchens, and Jalen Smith. Defensive lineman, I could. Are you going to re-sign DeMarcus Lawrence? Probably at least franchise him, right? And you drafted Taco Charlton last year. Defensive tackle, Tyrone Crawford and Malik Collins, I thought that you liked them. So defense out of the question. Quarterback, no. Running back, no. Wide receiver, yes. Offensive line, no. This is the clear move. I mean, the only other thing I might do is defensive line. That's the only other move I could go. And even that just doesn't make much sense to me. Wide receiver is a screaming need for this football team. And until further notice, I'm mocking wide receivers to the Cowboys. Number 20, Lions take running back Darius Geis. And I can't believe this. Lions fans, a couple of them, were complaining last week. Dude, you have the worst run game in the NFL. Amir Abdullah ain't working out, dog. How can you complain? As I have the Lions taking a running back, dog, you need a running back. Like, I understand, you know, big time running backs, you can argue you never win Super Bowls, that's fine. You need a run game. You've had the worst run game for the past 2 years. He averaged like 76 rushing yards this year. That's bad. You gotta draft a running back to me. 21 and 22 Buffalo Bills. Back-to-back picks. I haven't seen this in the first round in forever, maybe ever. I have the Bills taking Rashaan Evans, linebacker, Alabama, and defensive tackle Christian Wilkins out of Clemson. Despite them not allowing many points per game, the Bills' rushing defense wasn't great this year. Their front seven could be better. That's why I have them improving that here. Wide receiver possibility, but you have Kelvin Benjamin under contract. You have Jordan Matthews, who's not under contract, but I think may re-sign there. And you drafted Zay Jones last year, so that didn't make sense to me. Quarterback, yes, it's a possibility. But again, I didn't want to mock 6 quarterbacks in this mock. Now, as we move forward again, things will change. Okay, Sam Bradford is going to the Jets. I won't mock them a quarterback anymore, right? But for now, you're kind of missing out on these quarterbacks, so I had to go elsewhere for this mock. And for mocks to come, cornerback Denzel Ward goes to the LA Rams at 23. Not much to really say there. If you lose Tremaine Johnson, you would need a cornerback, and that's what I have happening. 24, defensive end I cannot pronounce out of Oklahoma. I'm African, and I cannot pronounce this name. I think his last name, if I were to give it a shot, Okoronkwo, okay, out of Oklahoma, Ogbonia, Okoronkwo. Okay, that's my best shot, and I'm pretty good. I think that was pretty good. You need a defensive end to me. Coney Ely didn't work out. Right now Julius Peppers is still there. Mario Addison, that's fine, but you can improve there. Wide receiver also a possibility, as I mocked last week. 25 defensive tackle Maurice Hurst out of Michigan. Same thing here for the Titans as last week. This guy got 6.5 sacks as a defensive tackle for Michigan last year. Not only do I want a run-stuffing defensive end for the Titans in this upcoming draft, I want one that can get after the quarterback. I want Casey to have a running mate on the defensive line, and Maurice Hurst, I think, would provide that. Man, this would be a nice pick for us. Move on to 26. Christian Kirk goes to the Jaguars. May be a surprise to some of you. Again, they could go quarterback to me, but I think the Jaguars want a veteran. I think they'd be most likely to go after an Eli Manning and an Alex Smith type guy. So that's why I don't have that. Marquise Lee and Allen Robinson are upcoming free agents, so wide receiver is a need to me if both of them leave, or even one of them leave. We move on to the next pick, 27, Atlanta Falcons. Same as last week, Malik Jefferson out of Texas. The Falcons don't have many needs. I mean, they'll lose games. They lost 6 games this year. But you don't really look at one thing circling and say, man, that's such a huge need for them. They need to fix that. And last year they drafted a defensive end, so I didn't want to draft a defensive end again here. I didn't want to mock one, so I didn't. We move on to 28. New Orleans Saints take Harold Landry out of Boston College. Same pick as last week. I saw no reason to change. They could use a linebacker, sure, but I went defensive end again. Get over it. We move on to 29. Steelers take tight end Mark Andrews out of Oklahoma. Steelers don't have many needs, and I know I'm going to get some hate from Steelers fans like, hey, we have Vance McDonald, we don't need Mark Andrews. I mean, you guys don't have many needs. Quarterback, I agree, but again, dog, there are so many quarterbacks. I mean, I have 5 going right now in the first round. When things settle after free agency, we'll see. And again, you guys did draft Joshua Dobbs last year, so maybe that's the guy that's going to be your future quarterback. We'll see. 30, we have cornerback Josh Jackson going to the Minnesota Vikings. Not many needs for the Vikings, but Terrence Newman, I mean, he should be retiring now. I mean, my God, he's still playing well, but I mean, my God, he should be retiring now. So that pick made sense to me. 31, Philadelphia Eagles take linebacker Tremaine Edmonds. Tell me, Eagles fans, this. Would you be upset if I mock you guys to get an offensive tackle? Because that makes a lot of sense to me. He would not play for a whole year, maybe 2 years. But the Eagles do not have many needs. I also considered running back. Like Jay Ajayi did not play that well this year, and LeGarrette Blount and Darren Sproles are upcoming free agents. So I also consider running back. Eagles, what do you want? Eagles fans, tell me which one in the comments below. And the 32 defensive end, Austin Bryant, goes to the New England Patriots to help their pass rush. So there you go. That is my 2018 NFL mock draft for January 8th, 2018. What are your thoughts on this mock draft? Comment down below. I want to know. I will be back next Monday for a new 2018 NFL mock draft. And until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment. I'm out. See you all later.